On-the-move caravans do not hide from the fact their vans are made offshore in China. Now, where they differ from a lot of other brands who do the same is that they don't just buy the same van from the same factory with different stickers on it. They have their own dedicated engineering team and production facility. Now, On-the-Move reckon that their vans are so price competitive, there is no competition when you consider how capable they are. Now, this van, the Grenade 6.3 Black Edition, is the top model in their range, and it has been entered into Caravan of the Year 2025, sponsored by MSA 4x4 Accessories. Now, our 3 expert judges are going to go through that value proposition, look at the build quality, look at the capability, and tell us if this is the best van for sale in Australia today. So let's get into it. On-the-Move Caravans, Allison, very fast growing brand. How do you feel they went for build quality?
I liked the build quality. It's a pretty tough chassis. It's a high tensile steel Desert Master chassis rated to 4 tonne underneath. It's a frameless van, there's no frame, so they use 30mm thick composite panels, and they're joined with a unique joining system which they call lock and block. And they're seeking the patent on that method. It's unique to them. These composite panels are joined and there's an aluminium capping goes over the corner. So it's a really strong build method and quite light. There's one piece roof of the composite panel, the walls are one piece, and also there's a one piece composite floor. They use a Renogy electrical system. It's a simple plug and play. So no one's playing with live electrical wires. All the wiring is neatly tucked away in these corner conduits in the corners in the roof. So it's a very neat build methodology.
Now, a couple of years ago, actually more recently than that, we saw an On-the-Move that we were a bit critical of its interior quality. What have they done inside to up the quality?
Internally, all their cabinetry is aluminium. So the guys actually made a joke that the only timber that you'll see in an On-the-Move is the chopping board that comes with the external kitchen. So there's no timber in this van at all. It's good quality aluminium, you know, soft closing drawers, lovely bench tops. The quality looks good.
John, you look at that thing, it's got like car spotlights, it's got scrub bars on the outside. Visually, it's got a lot going on, but what else stood out from an innovation point of view?
The whole company's really founded on innovation. They've really gone a long way into making those vans totally weatherproof for a long while. The Desert Master chassis, I think that's pretty impressive. It's got holes in it that are punched out and flanged to give it extra strength in that high tensile steel, saves weight. They're thinking all the time about how to make the van work properly and how to make it last. That rear toolbox, I think that's a real eye-opener. You know, that slide-out drawer where you can put your hoses into that wasted space that's basically in the rear end of the chassis between the chassis rails. I think that's a really brilliant idea.
So Mel, there is a standout feature in that van from a livability point of view, which I know you're going to touch on, but just generally, how comfortable do you think you'd be getting on board that, and what is that big standout?
Grenade has done something unconventional. They have the bed down the back and the bathroom at the front, which is reversing of what most designs are. But probably the feature for me for the livability is the north-south bed. Most manufacturers, motorhome or caravan, who put a drop-down bed use an east-west arrangement simply for engineering reasons. It's much easier. Turning it sideways is much harder, but the Grenade has achieved that. And On-the-Move have been a bit clever with the lounge too. It's a north-south bed results in a very large and comfortable club lounge. You could have 6 people in there without a problem. You get the all-round window views as well, and it works quite well for me. Up front, the bathroom is quite spacious the way they've got it laid out. There's no compromise there because you have the bed and the lounge together. The split kitchen is quite a good arrangement too. So for me, it worked very well.
Allison, who's the buyer for the On-the-Move Grenade, and where are they going to take a van like this?
It's a dual axle. It's a heavy duty off-roader. They will claim that you can take it on any road in Australia. It's going to suit adventurers who like to get off the beaten track. You know, it's not a caravan park type van. People who are looking for adventure, happy to go to out of the way places and get a bit of peace and quiet will love it.
Ease of use, I think they've made a few improvements on this van. They've got an onboard air pump and tank for the suspension. The storage box up front is just monstrous. And also down the back, they've got a 4-way camera that gives you side, rear and underneath views as you're driving along. The Renogy system's all in one, and the tablet and the phone app gives you really quite good access to everything that's going on in the van. The north-south drop-down bed, that's a really useful thing, very easy to use.
How do you actually lift that bed, John?
It's got a two-way switch. You've got to actually hit it twice. Good idea to stop kids playing around with it and lifting their mother up into the roof.
Mel, self-sufficiency, very important in a van that's marketed as an off-grid specialist van. So tell us a bit about the numbers.
Well, they've done the specialist bit, 400 amperes of lithium battery, 800 watts of solar panel capacity, and a 3000 watt inverter. Means they're ready to go run the air conditioner, your toaster, your kettle, the whole bit. So it's very high numbers there, very well appointed. It has a larger than usual water capacity, 360 litres, which gives it a really long-term living capability. 100 litre grey water tank, which is pretty much standard. And the toilet is probably the weak link in this van. It's a cassette toilet, which means there is some reliance on external facilities.
Yeah, or bringing a spare cassette with you when you head
Yeah,
out.
exactly.
It certainly looks like a big, heavy-duty off-roader. What's it actually like to tow?
Look, it was good to tow. It's got an ATM of 3,500 kilos, so you could tow it with your average 4x4 It can be rated up to 4 tonne, and if you're going into 4 tonne territory, then you will need to upgrade to something, you know, one of the American trucks. We towed it with a Ram 1500. It towed quite easily with that. We took it on some rough surface, no problem, it towed very well.
So if you rolled into camp with all those floodlights on and the spotlights on, everyone's going to notice you, aren't they?
If you turn those lights on, you wouldn't be missed, that's for sure. It's a pretty impressive package, isn't it? With that lights up top and the big rail around the top and the black finish and the big wheels and the big toolboxes, you're certainly going to make an impression. It's called the Black Edition, and the Black Edition gets a heap of extras over the standard van, and the standard van's exceptional value, but I think that's a really impressive looking van. The Desert Master chassis really stands out and the suspension stands out. It's a great looking van. It's really tough looking, isn't it?
I really liked the front storage locker, which is massive. You could fit a couple of bikes in there, and anyone who has bikes mounted on the outside of their van knows how dirty and dusty they can get. You could put surfboards, anything in there, so I think that's a real plus for this van. You can carry those large pieces of leisure equipment and they're out of the weather.
So Mel, for a 6.3 metre off-road couples van, starting at 125 grand, that seems pretty good value to money to me. What about you?
I think it's very good value too. It's certainly quite sharply priced compared to some of its competitors. It's used some quite innovations, particularly with the drop-down bed arrangement and some of the designs for the external storage. That's very impressive. And you get, of course, a very generous amount of battery and solar capacity. So I think it's very well priced for what it is.
So John, customer care, On the Move have claimed to have landed over 700 vans in the last couple of years. Customer care and service, how do these guys rank in that respect?
They've got a 5-year warranty on the chassis and then 3 years on the construction. I think that's pretty good. They're a new company, so they're developing dealers and a dealer network, and they have a pretty comprehensive list of repair agents throughout the country, so I think people should feel fairly confident. It's not designed for non-gazetted roads, and the way that that van is built is certainly designed for most places that you can take a van in Australia.
So thank you for joining us at Caravan of the Year 2025, having a look at the On the Move 6.3 Grenade Black Edition. If you enjoyed that video, please like and subscribe. And of course, if you have any comments or questions, leave them below.